This is the plaintiff, Jamie Poole. He says the defendant, his daughter's mother, borrowed his new laptop computer, and no matter what he does, he can't seem to get it back from her. She also owes him money which he loaned her for a porta potty and a past due cable bill. He's not about to sit by and watch her get away with owing him $2,341.76 and is suing for just that. This is the defendant, Tavia Green. She says the plaintiff is just plain mad since she's taking him to court for child support and is coming up with this cockamamie lawsuit as a way to get back at her. The guy's also furious she got a restraining order against him because he tried to snatch their daughter from her while she was at school. The only thing she owes him is another court date. She's accused of upsetting an ex.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says his daughter's mother borrowed his computer and didn't return it. But she says this is retaliation because she's suing him for child support and he tried snatching their daughter away. It's the case of you put the cuss in custody.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jamie Poole, you are suing Tavia Green? Tavia Green, for the mother of your 4-year-old daughter, for $2,341.76 in items that you say you loaned her the money to buy and that she has still not paid you back for. Tell me what's going on.
About 5 years ago, I met the defendant at our workplace. Immediately, she got a bad reputation as being very promiscuous. And
so that's why you had a baby with her?
No, allegedly she slept with about 15 of the coworkers, and when it was my turn, she happened to get pregnant. So,
how did she get pregnant if you used protection?
We didn't use protection.
Oh, that's how it keeps happening.
It does consistently.
Yeah, like throughout all the time. Yeah.
It was bad judgment on my part.
What do you think? Go ahead.
So we never had a relationship, but I accepted.
You just finished telling me how she had she had a reputation for having 1 million partners. No, I didn't use protection.
Yeah, it's bad judgment.
Unbelievable. Go ahead.
So she had our daughter, and I praise myself as being a great father, and she was a good mother. Everything was fine. We don't get along. We try not to talk too much, and we keep everything text message or on a need to talk basis. Come August the 7th.
How do you know it's your child if she had so many partners?
Because we had a DNA test.
Oh, okay. So go on.
Come August the 7th, my daughter comes to my house on an occasional visit that she always does, maybe 3 or 4 days a week. And she began telling me How old is your daughter? She's 4 years old. Okay. She said that mommy and a man were in the bed, hugging, kissing, then began doing something different. So I became irate. I called her mother, and she said, don't worry about it. I can have men around my daughter anytime I want to. You can't tell me what to do. So I told her on my next day off, I'm filing for custody. She said, okay, well, I'm filing for child support. And from that point on, I've seen my daughter only one time. To the present day, she won't let me see my daughter.
So who died and made her queen? All you got to do is bother to go and fight for custody.
I did.
And visitation. So you file your case,
yes,
and you get it in front of the judge, and you say, I haven't seen my daughter in 2 months.
That's what I've done. But during that time, I went to pick up my daughter from school before our court date, and her mother came and verbally assaulted me, saying, you're nothing, you're a deadbeat, you're not going to take her. So the teacher didn't allow her mother or myself to take our daughter. They called Tavia. She came, she pulled her mother away from me. They got in the car, and I left. So the next day—
Who took the child?
Tavia, the other mother. So the next day, I went to the courtroom to file emergency visitation, if there's a such thing.
And yeah, of course there is.
And that's when they presented me with, they served me with—
restraining order?
Yeah, saying that I said I was going to blow her car up or something, and that I was going to have something done to them. Where her mother didn't threaten me, and I didn't threaten her mother. That never took place. And I believe she did it because the administrator at my daughter's school said the only way you can keep the dad away from the school is if I had something in writing. So she went to the court that same day. And
made up stuff according to you.
No, first she tried to get paperwork saying that I can't pick up my daughter. They denied it. So that didn't work. So she did domestic violence, and now I can't pick up my daughter from school.
Where did you seek an order saying he can't pick up the child?
The courtroom, the family
What
court.
courtroom did you
The family court.
Family court. And
Yes.
you said, I want somebody to write me a piece of paper that says he can't pick up his kid.
No, I said I would like a restraining order against him because when I picked up my daughter from school, he was threatening my mother, threatening me.
Right. What got denied?
The denied was to have the case heard that day because we had a court date coming up in like a week, and I went there for an emergency hearing, but the judge denied it. So I went to get the restraining order.
Okay, so you went to a judge and asked for an order that would stop him from picking up his kid. It was denied, and then you went to a different place to get a restraining order?
Yes.
Right. That's what we call forum shopping. And then magically, because you don't want him coming to pick up his own blood, you end up going somewhere else. And for the first time, bringing up that he threatened to blow up you and your mother and your daughter and everything else. Sounds like you were using the system to be able to get the objective that you wanted.
No.
No, well, it certainly sounds that way to me with the order of things. You go to the first court, you say, I don't want the dad to be able to pick up his child. And they say, denied. Then you go, all right, that didn't work. All right, he threatened. Then you go to another place and you tell him, he threatened to kill us all. Oh, well, here's right here, ma'am. Here, you have it. And then magically you have a restraining order against you. How did that order become permanent? Did you not show up to the permanent injunction?
I guess they had too many cases before us. They gave us another later date.
Oh, okay. So it hasn't had a permanent yet. It's just been extended temporary.
Yes.
Okay. You make sure to go to that hearing.
Definitely.
And you
am.
make sure to explain things the way you just explained now. Now, let's talk about your lawsuit. Your lawsuit here is, according to you, because of everything he just described that has him angry, understandably, he is now making up that you owe all this money. Correct?
Yes.
So he says he bought a Dell computer for you and that you're supposed to pay him back. Are you?
No, he bought the computer as a Christmas present.
Were you guys together then?
No, he just always buys gifts for my mother. He'll buy gifts for me. He's just like that.
How come none of the guys I dated were like that? All right, amount owed for cable bill. Why would he pay your cable bill?
Because I was out of work without pay for a few months, and it was the summer. No, it wasn't the summer, but our daughter was at home, and I told him, if I don't have cable, Treasure's going to sit at home all day and not have anything to do. So he said he would pay the cable bill, and my mother went and got the money from him, and we never discussed about I had to pay him back because he knew that I was out of work.
So you paid the cable bill, and why is that not just one of those things because your daughter's living there?
No.
Why is that something she has to pay you back?
First of all, she said she wasn't working. She was going through hard times. She had 2 jobs at the time. And she
Do you guys text?
Every now and then, yes.
Okay, are there any texts that can support whether or not it was a loan or a gift?
No, the only person who was there was my goddaughter. And I have a written statement from her, but we
Let
don't
me
have
see what
any.
you got. And then there's a PSP he's suing you for. What's that about?
About 3 years ago, he gave me his PSP because he didn't play it anymore. This was, maybe it was more than 3 years ago. This is before I even had Treasure. And he gave it to me because he said he doesn't play with it. And I started buying games for it and everything. And it was just like something he gave me that was his, but he didn't use it anymore. So he said I could have it.
Is it 3 years old?
Yes.
Okay, and what were the circumstances under which you gave it to her?
She's completely lying again. She has to see it. She said she'll give it back shortly. That was
Why didn't you do something about it in 3 years?
I did. When I come to her house, she hides it. I can't even find it.
All right, his goddaughter, Ladira, says that she overheard on speaker a conversation where you were saying, can I borrow this money? I need to pay my cable bill. And can I borrow it from you? I'll pay you my next payday.
No.
She's a liar?
This is a bad child custody situation. The plaintiff says the defendant was denying him visitation. The defendant says the plaintiff was threatening her and her mom. Let's listen.
I never said anything about
Do you know her?
paying him back. Yes, I know Ladera.
She says you're a liar.
I told my mother to go and pick up the money from him. I didn't even see the money. My mother took it straight to go pay the bill for me. And that was it. And I never said anything. Over the years that I've been dealing with Jamie, he done bought me so many things and gave me money and never asked for me to pay anything back. Now, all of a sudden that I'm filing for child support and he realizing that the child support is going to hit him, he wants to try to get money from me or get things back that he gave me because he's upset.
And when was the Dell computer? You're saying it was last Christmas?
Yes, last Christmas.
Do you have any pictures of you receiving it or anything like that?
No, I have the box at my house because he gave me the whole entire box and he gave me it was another gift to.
Do you have the receipt for the computer?
Yes, I have the proof of purchase.
Let me see. It was purchased on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Traditional Christmas shopping day. What'd you give her for Christmas if not the computer?
Nothing.
Nothing, huh? What do I do with the fact that you clearly have, as she says, a motive to lie because there's this horrible bad blood that happened based on everything? By the way, why was your 4-year-old witnessing you kissing a man in bed?
My 4-year-old daughter never witnessed anything like that. He coaches my daughter to say things. He'll ask for 4-year-old questions. And if you keep asking a child questions, they're going to eventually say what you want them to say. Just like that same day when she came home, she was telling me things that her daddy was saying. And it's not even appropriate talking about guns and that she was going to do something to somebody. That's why I didn't want my daughter at his house anymore, because you telling her things and school getting ready to start. She going to go to school saying these things because I know how my daughter is. So that's why I was, I wanted him to see her, but I was like, I'm just going to let the court decide when he could see her, because it's like he's making my 4-year-old daughter say things that a 4-year-old shouldn't say. I would never kiss a man in front of my child. If I was a bad mother.
But what then made him that mad, if not your daughter telling him?
Because he's mad at the simple fact that I have somebody new now and somebody comes to my house. It's not nobody that I'm laying down with or kissing or anything like that. It's just somebody new, and he don't want any men around his daughter.
Yana, she's lying.
You guys need family court.
She needs to tell the truth.
No, you're hearing me? You guys really need family court. You need structure, because you can't work it out amongst yourselves anymore. It's obvious. There's things you need to acknowledge and there's things you need to acknowledge. But you guys need some structure. You love your daughter?
She's everything to me.
You love your daughter?
Yes.
Do you think your daughter needs a father?
Yes.
Do you think she needs him and that he loves her?
Not sure about that.
Yeah, you are. You hate him, but you are, aren't you? You don't question whether he loves your daughter.
I know he loves her, but...
Okay, do you think your daughter needs a mother? Seriously?
I never would have thought she would have took... she's lying to you.
Do you think she loves your daughter?
Do I think she loves my daughter? I think she loves her.
Until you started to hear that there's another man in town, did you think she was a good mother?
Up until that point, yes.
Okay. Do you understand? Do you date?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's okay for you, but it's not okay for her.
She could date.
Exactly. So do you understand that you have no right to demand that there not be a man in her house?
I never would demand that.
You do have a right to demand that things don't happen in front of your daughter.
That's what I
And you do have a right to know who the heck is in your house exposed to your daughter to make sure he's not a pedophile. Okay? Yeah. You do have that right. And you have a responsibility. If you're bringing every man, when you first meet them, are strange. But if you're bringing a new person into the house, then you need to know who it is you're dealing with too, right? These are all very basic things. This is not like an unreasonable demand on everybody's part. But you folks need structure so that your daughter doesn't end up being the loser in all of this. Do you understand?
So if your ex is brainwashing your child, what do you do? What do you do?
I think you just got to beat them at their own game. So you just got to be better than them at brainwashing and do the best that you can.
So you counter brainwash?
Well, if you have to, I guess.
What do you think?
Well, maybe a little bit of money might get involved, a bit of bribery.
You pay the other person off not to?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and?
You play fire with fire and brainwash them more than they're brainwashing the kid.
Wait, and they are like so just nonchalant about the whole thing going inside the courtroom.
All right, let's talk about this because, obviously from what I am hearing, there is a lot of anger, which I understand on your part. I think that Ms. Green was forum shopping, but that has nothing to do with my lawsuit. The lawsuit is about what actually this stuff was. Was it a loan or was it a gift? That's what the lawsuit's about. So I have to look at these things and figure it out. You've got one piece of corroborative evidence on the cable bill issue from your goddaughter. And the rest of it are things, for example, a computer bought on the biggest Christmas shopping day of the year and other, but if you bought this computer, you bought it for yourself, why is it in her possession?
I bought the computer because my computer's down. It's actually still in the shop now.
Okay, so why is it in her possession?
Because she just moved.
What does just moving have to do with a computer?
I did. If I knew
hamina. This is just you're mad and you now want her to pay you. I'm going to order her to pay you the $300 for the cable bill. As to everything else, you just don't have proof whether it's a loan or a gift. And in the future, if you make any loans, make sure you have something, an email, a text, a crayon in the nearest roll of toilet paper, something that acknowledges that this is something that has to be paid back. Because among people with a relationship, like mother of my child, there are sometimes expenditures that have to do with the child too, like certain things. And so it's later on when you wait all this time to sue and you only sue when the big blowout happens, it's going to be hard for you to prove that these are debts. All right. But hopefully this isn't going to happen between you two anymore, because what's going to happen is that you're going to have a judge who's going to look at everything, decide what's in the best interest of Treasure, and order you to abide by it accordingly. Okay? Good luck to both of you.
Let's see what the defendant has to say about the judge's words to you as she issues her ruling. What's going through your mind as you come out?
She said I have to pay him back for the cable, which I don't feel that I should, and that I was form shopping. No, it's just I have proof that he threatened me, and I'll just use that in family court.
Where do you go from here to move forward and be the best set of parents you can be for Treasure?
I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, which is taking care of my child. And once family court decides that he can see her, then that's when he'll see her.
Right. All right. Right down this way, please. Follow Officer McIntosh down this way. Okay, so step on in here. You satisfied with how the judges ruled here?
Not really, but there's a bigger issue involved where I'm not seeing my daughter. And I don't like the ruling. She know that they were just loans. So,
right. You have to move forward also. What's your best path to move forward in Treasure's best interest?
I just have to continue to fight in court, and hopefully they'll see things my way. I had no idea that 4 years down the line she'll be an unfit mother. So I'm going to try my best to get my daughter back. I know she misses me, and her keeping her from me is tearing her apart. So hopefully things will work out soon.
All right, hope so. All right, right down this way, okay? All right, Harvey?
So, the judge talked about structure in these custody arrangements. Fact is, if you are not getting along with your ex, and if you don't have a custody order, you should run for the courthouse to get one. You should always have a custody order, even if you don't get along, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.